12th of August, sun disappeared in a broad daylight from many parts of Europe. This was not just a spectacular sky show, it was one of the major astronomical events referred as total solar eclipse. Europe has witnessed this total solar eclipse almost after 25 to 26 years. Also, in this particular eclipse, the outermost layer of sun, that is referred as corona, was visible to scientists. That has its own astronomical significance as such. So, in this particular video, let us try to understand when does solar eclipse occur, what actually is solar eclipse, what are different types of solar eclipse, and why are scientists planning ahead for this particular eclipse as such, and why the visibility of corona is very significant for the scientists all across the world. To give you context of this particular topic, it was 12th of August when millions of people across countries such as Greenland, Iceland, Spain, they witnessed a phenomena that is referred as total solar eclipse. Now, before understanding what basically this term means, also we have to keep in mind that Europe's first total solar eclipse since 1999. Partial solar eclipses are more common. They are visible across different regions of the world, and many cities of Europe, example in UK, London, in Paris of France, and Dublin of Ireland, even partial solar eclipse was visible as such. Eclipse unfolded roughly for over 96 minutes and revealed the solar corona. This is the context in which we are discussing this video. Now, first of all, the question might come into your mind is, what is solar eclipse? Now, solar eclipse is an astronomical event which occurs when sun, moon and earth are aligned in the same plane as well as in the same line. And there the moon is situated between the earth and sun. We know that in the astronomical system of our solar system, earth is revolving around the sun, and at the same time moon is revolving around the earth, and due to their continuous motion, a time comes when sun, moon and earth all three bodies can lie in the same plane, same line, which also in astronomy is referred as syzygy position. Then the solar light is blocked because earth cannot receive the light. Moon's shadow then fall on the earth, that is called as lunar shadow, and this generally happens in the event or time of new moon. Now, there are various types of eclipses depending on how much part of the sun is blocked by the movement of moon. So, for example, if you look at this first image, this is what we call as partial solar eclipse. Why partial? Because it is clear that only a part of sun is blocked by moon. Then we have the annular solar eclipse, where you have a ring of light that is clearly visible around the sun. Then we have the total solar eclipse, when the entire sun is completely covered by the moon and only black dark shadow of moon is visible from the earth, and you see the coronal layer of sun here. So, let us try to understand each of these eclipses. But before that, I would want to bring your attention to the fact that Legacy IAS Academy, we are going to soon commence batches. The regular weekday batches are going to start on 7th of September, then on 3rd of November, while the weekend batches for students preparing for the examination along with full-time studies or full-time job is going to commence on 10th of October and further 12th of December. In this program, whether for weekday or weekend, we ensure that comprehensively all the GS papers are covered. We also have one-to-one mentorship and doubt solving sessions after the class, because many times students need help outside the classroom itself. We ensure regular interaction with educators, faculties, and for that we have maintained maximum 40 students per batch. Now we know that the preparation of UPSC requires an integrated approach. Both prelims and mains preparation should be done together, and that's why daily mains and writing practice is something that we encourage students to participate in our program. Test series for prelims and mains also is included, as it plays a vital role in understanding strength and weaknesses where you have to work upon. And also we know that apart from general studies, optional is referred as a rank deciding paper, or also the paper that can decide whether your name would be in the selected list or not. So for that purpose, for psychology, PSIR, anthropology and sociology, these 4 optional subjects, we are going to soon commence classes on 17th of August from 8 to 10 a.m. Now, you want to know more detail about the course program feature, you can scroll through our website, you can call to the number being displayed here, as well as you can also download our Legacy IAS app. Now, coming to the different types of eclipses. The first eclipse which Europe has witnessed yesterday is the total solar eclipse. Now, in total solar eclipse, what happens? So, as we can see from this particular diagram, the moon completely blocks the sun, and if you look at this particular area on the earth, from this particular area, the entire moon shadow is simply falling. And this is called as the darkest region of moon shadow, referred as umbra. So, umbra is reaching the earth, and that's why temporarily the region where umbra falls on the earth experiences a complete darkness, and because the entire entire circular surface of the moon, spherical surface of the sun actually is completely covered by moon. That's why the outermost atmosphere of the sun, called as corona, is visible. This is also referred as narrow path of totality, because if you look at this picture again, the shadow of moon is falling across a large part of the earth, but this is a relatively lighter shadow, and that is called as penumbra. So the region of umbra which falls on earth is very small, just covering 1% of the total earth surface. Then we have annular and partial eclipses. In annular eclipse, what happens? In annular eclipse, moon appears smaller. Why? Because in annular eclipse, moon is at its apogee position. We know that when moon is revolving around the earth, its position changes between perigee and apogee. At perigee, moon is closest to the earth, and at apogee, moon is farthest from the earth. So because moon is farthest from the earth, it creates a ring of light around the entire sun's surface, and umbra is not able to reach the earth surface as such. So that's why in annular solar eclipse, you would be seeing a ring of fire around the sun, a kind of disc-like shape. Partial eclipses, as you have seen, when the moon is partially covering the sun, and in this case the sun would look like kind of crescent shape, because only part of the sun is blocked by the moon, and the penumbral region is much more larger compared to umbral region. Then comes the hybrid solar eclipse. In the case of hybrid solar eclipse, as moon is also moving, that is revolving around the earth, it is also considered as the rarest type of eclipse. This is a combination of total eclipse where moon is completely covering the entire sun surface, and annular eclipse where a ring of light is visible around the sun, and it depends upon the location. That means from where you are looking at looking to the sun or moon from the earth depends whether you will be seeing total eclipse, annular eclipses, or even the hybrid eclipse as such. So lunar shadow has unique geometry here, as you can see, because the moon moves. If you look at the different places on earth, here you have umbra, then here you have umbra, then here you have umbra, and lunar shadow has a specific geometry, and the type of lunar shadow that falls on the earth changes as moon moves along the path as such. So as you can see from here, this is here you have the penumbral region, this is umbral region, here you have umbra, here you have penumbra. So the nature of the moon shadow changes, and that's when we see the hybrid eclipses, that is combination or mixture of total plus annular. Now question is, how often do eclipses occur? So solar eclipses generally occur 2 to 5 times every year. And as we have seen that for solar eclipse to occur, sun, moon, earth should be aligned, that should be in the same line, same plane, and moon should be between the sun and earth. Now this is a situation also we see during the new moon. But every new moon does not result in the eclipse. And what is the reason behind it? Because first of all, let us look at this particular diagram. So here you have the sun, here we have the earth, and as you can see that the moon is between the earth and sun. Now because the sunlight is directly falling on the moon's face, which is far away from the earth. So from the earth, if you look at the moon, the darker face would be visible, because moon does not have light of its own. Moon is reflecting simply the light of sun. So that's why you're not able to see moon in the sky, and that is what we call as the new moon phenomena. Now logically, if you think every new moon, because the moon is coming between earth and sun, it should block the sun and we should be able to see some type of eclipses, but that is not correct. And the reason behind is because moon is not revolving around the earth in the same plane in which earth revolves around the sun. So lunar orbital tilt is about 5 degree. 5 degree measured from the earth's orbital plane. What is earth's orbital plane? The plane in which earth is revolving around the sun as such. So most of the shadows in this case is miss the earth, and for eclipse to occur, it is very important that the nodes should be aligned. Not only moon should be between earth and sun, but the lunar node should be aligned with the earth's node. Now let us try to understand this in this particular diagram as such. So as we can see, this is the sun, and now as we have discussed that the moon's orbit is tilted by 5 degree from the earth's orbital plane, the plane in which earth is revolving around the sun as such. Now what happens in this case? Suppose this situation we are talking about. So again here sun, you have moon, you have earth. So this is a case of new moon. But now you can see that the shadow of moon, it is not falling on the earth. If you make the shadow of moon will fall somewhere beyond the earth or outside the earth. That's why you will not be able to see moon in the sky, but at the same time the moon will not be able to block the light of sun if you are looking from the earth itself. So that is the thing. Now what we see is that if we talk about other cases, we have full moon. Then gradually what happens? As the moon revolves around the earth, a time comes when moon, sun and earth here are in the same line. Now in this case, because now moon has come to this area, you can see that the earth's orbital plane and moon's orbital plane are perfectly aligned, are completely aligned. And when this situation occurs, we call it as the moon's orbital plane aligned with the earth's orbital plane and the lines of nodes aligned with the sun during eclipse season. In this case, as you can see, the umbra of the moon is directly falling on the earth itself, and that's why eclipse would be visible. Similarly, if we talk about this case, again there is a tilt here, so moon's umbra is falling somewhere beyond earth, and that's why again here you'll have the eclipse season. So not all the new moon, but it is the new moon during which you will be able to witness the solar eclipse. Nodes and line of nodes we have discussed. When two orbital intersect, orbits of the moon and the orbit of earth intersect, that point is called as nodes, and moon crosses orbital plane and the new moon plus node align together, then the eclipses occur. So line of nodes should be aligned, as we have seen in the last diagram. Now, why is total eclipse rare? The total eclipse, if you talk about, is generally take place once in a 18-month, and this seems very frequent interval, but it depends on where you are looking on the earth. If suppose we are talking about total eclipse from a particular place on the earth, any place, any city, any state in India, then at that specific location total eclipse will happen after 400 years. That makes it a rarer phenomena from the perspective of the geographical place on the earth. And umbra becomes extremely narrow, as we can see from here, the umbra region, that is the darkest shadow of moon that falls on the earth's surface. It does not cover a large part of the earth's surface. It covers less than 1% of entire earth's surface. That's why witnessing total solar eclipse is a very rare phenomena, because you have to have the precise alignment and the umbra should be falling at that geographical place itself. Now, this particular total eclipse, as we have discussed, would help us to look at the sun's outer atmosphere, that is the corona region, and that generally is hidden by the solar glare, because when we talk about the structure of the sun, what we can see that the sun's photosphere is sending us continuously a strong beam of light. That's why when we look at the sun, we are only seeing the photosphere part. None of the part is visible as such. But during the eclipse, as the photosphere is completely covered by the moon, it becomes completely dark, and that's when the outer light that is coming from corona, the glare we can say coming from corona, is visible. Now, why it is important? Because corona is also considered as the layer of mystery. If you talk about the surface of the earth, surface of the sun, temperature is roughly 6000 degrees Celsius as such. But in corona, temperature suddenly increases and becomes about 1 million degrees Celsius. Now, scientists have not been able to explain the exact reason why there is sudden jump and a large jump in the corona, and European Space Agencies, NASA, they have sent many missions and observatory they have put in place to understand the solar. It is also part of the solar physics research. For example, few years back, NASA sent its Parker solar probe. India also has sent Aditya L1 mission to have a better understanding of the sun's coronal layer. So that's all for this particular video. I hope you understood about the concept behind eclipse, why it happens, different type of eclipses, and why the particular eclipse on 12th of August was of astronomical importance. Thank you very much.